What's up, everybody? This is Varian Grant, founder of Indie Vault, Captain Two Hats Varian. I'm joined by an esteemed panel tonight. Randy will be joining us soon. He is running behind because he's having some technical difficulties. He'll pop in soon. And if he pops in, his mic and his headphones should work fine because everyone is here before he is. Tonight, we got Lewis. Lewis, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do for a living.
I'm Lewis Brett Raven, 27-year veteran of comics, role-playing games, and science fiction, fantasy, and horror. I've been an editor, writer, illustrator, and talent scout.
Talent scout.
Yes.
You ruined this industry, sir. You ruined this industry. Anyway,
well, we can talk about that another day if you want.
Trico, you're here.
Yes.
Tell everyone why you deserve to be on this panel. Tell us about your accolades.
I have no accolades. I just kind of show up a lot. I do some writing. Nothing good. All the writing's really abysmal. But I've written some comics and some stuff.
He writes a couple.
Come on now.
He's wrote a lot of comics. He started some companies, but he's probably probably can't talk about that. He's probably legally blinded from talking about it.
Who you ask? I may have co-founded SourcePoint Press.
May have.
Depends who you ask and whether if I'm in the room or not.
This video is gonna get snatched down by powers that be at Google, and we have, as promised, one of our guests today, Miss Katrina Rhodes of the Tether Saga, and you've got you're the project editor on Teddy Bear Tales, which is funding on Kickstarter right now. Still a couple hours left, I think.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's been a busy day. I think we have about 60 hours left and about $600 to go. So
I did. Sorry about the coughing, everyone. I have Con Pruitt. I was at a show this past weekend, and it's sitting in my chest and it won't come up, and it's But yeah, and then we're gonna have Dave Brown on later if Dave gets away. Hold on one second. I might have to take this hat off for just a second. I'll put it there so you all see it. Hold on. This is ridiculous. Oh. Yeah. You know, I wonder if anybody thinks this is my hair. They're just going past the channel and think that black guy has the oddest hair ever. Who's this get fooling? Ooh. So I wanted to start today's chat off. As always, we sit and we go through some questions that we were emailed, and I was going to ask one of Randy, and I got about 4 questions this week, and
I got questions too, stuff that kind of other creators were asking me, and we're talking about last weekend at Saginaw Comic-Con. So I came prepared. I got questions.
I have no questions, but I'm willing to make up answers.
Cool.
Let's see here. I'm providing technical support.
Are you typing to Randy? Did you try turning it on and off?
How did you know I just typed that? Yeah, just like Randy, try turning it on and off. Try what we say fancy words like, have you tried rebooting? Let's see here. All right. So oh yeah, see, look. All right, there we go.
Hold on, sorry.
All right, so
You lost.
Started having things auto playing. It's like, no, stop.
It's there. Okay, yeah.
I'm a hot mess.
Heard. All right, so we are here, obviously. This wonderful show that we've created. And Trico, since we're still waiting on Randy, and I really want to get Randy's answer to one of these questions that were sent by a listener, I figure I will let you shoot off with your questions first, unless you had one that you really wanted to. You save the ones that you really want Randy to answer as well. Hopefully he'll pop in here.
Alrighty. Let's see. Did you guys catch what Scholastic said this week about graphic novels?
I did not. What did they
No,
say?
Well, I didn't catch it either, but I was watching other YouTube videos online, and apparently Scholastic made an announcement that graphic novels are books, and it shocked the comic industry.
Graphic novels are books?
Yeah. Alterna did like a whole segment on it because I guess Scholastic just announced that graphic novels are books.
Well, shit, not that Scholastic has said it. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, now it's the truth. It wasn't true before, but now it's true.
Yeah, I don't.
How you feel about that?
Yeah,
I
heard
don't
about
really,
it.
I'm indifferent. I mean, they've been graphic novels all along. That's why they're called graphic novels. Novel is a book, you know.
Yeah. If it's got novel in the very name, it kind of would imply that it's a book.
That's what I figured. Like when I heard that, I'm like, weren't they always books? Like when were they not books?
The problem with the graphic novel is that a lot of people in the history, not understanding the comics origins of it, they think graphic novel, they think graphic violence, graphic sex type novel. A lot of people who are not comic fans look at it that way. So they don't look at it as the same as we do to begin with. And then you've got how those books, particularly from the mainstream comic publishers, are distributed and have been distributed. Yes, they're distributed through book distributors, but as you know, Diamond is our primary. That affects how the book market and the library market perceives it as well. So I think that's what Scholastic is trying to do, is say, hey, you know, we're including this. That's my guess is what they're trying to say. I don't know. I'd like to see the article.
Yeah, Trico, can you send that? Can you send Lewis that article if you get opportunity?
Hey, well, I just caught it on the Alterna YouTube channel.
Okay.
They did a video on it.
Yeah, Peter talked about it. Okay, I'll find it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I've always considered them books, but I mean, I've always been a fan.
Mm-hmm.
So that is I mean, but you know, it's like now that you know, Scholastic said it.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, my son's school dropped Scholastic as their book provider. I think I mentioned that last week.
Yes, you did.
And
Really?
and they got a new company, and they still carry some comics. But I remember writing to a friend of mine that I checked the company out. I'm like, who are these people I'm giving my credit card information to? And they said they had a really weird mission statement. It was enough for me to think maybe I need to pull my kid out of school entirely. But it was a really weird mission statement for the books. Like, we're providing and fostering education through books of it was weird. It was weird. But yeah, how dare they educate with books, right? Oh, I feel that cough is just sitting there. Oh.
Sorry, I have a gap.
Oh, I probably will at some point. At least one cat will wander through.
I am professional and cage my animals.
I am not, and run into my door 20 minutes ahead of time, and then spend 3 minutes leading up to trying to shove a piece of pizza in my mouth.
Well, you know,
I just cage. I cage myself. That's why I'm in this room and it's all dark and everything. I just can't.
Trico, is your computer plugged up tonight? Is it plugged up to power source?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That way, if it dies, you know, because last time you ejected on us, I thought I kicked you for a second. Like, oh no, I kicked Trike.
No, I was being lazy. I was on the couch and I didn't want to get up to get the cord, and then it died, and I was like, I gotta go to bed anyways.
So Trike, what is your next question there? Because I know you said you had a few. So.
Okay. Let's see. They're not up to the same caliber as like the usual Varian questions. I'm still working on it. I'm still learning. Let's see. So what's everyone's thoughts on San Diego Comic-Con? I know it's probably like a fun experience to go to, but as a creator, do you guys think it's worth it to go? Like if you were to get a table and everything, because the cost is so outrageous. And then also as a writer or artist, is it worth it to go to have your work critiqued?
I think for me, and I have no intention of ever tabling in San Diego, but from my understanding from other people I know who have and talks and stuff, it really depends on why you're going to San Diego. The biggest thing that I'm hearing is that if you're going to do San Diego, you really should be doing it for the networking opportunities, more so than necessarily the finding new fans, because it's so huge. A lot of people just never get found.
That's reasonable. I've done San Diego about 8 or 10 times. I haven't done it since 02 or 03 though. And there was a huge shift from comics to other media in the late 90s and early 2000s. And that shift turned me off the show pretty extensively. Having not gone in recent years, I really can't say what it's like for the opportunities for networking and stuff. But when I was regularly there, that's a lot of times where I'd find guys when I was doing my scouting work for Caliber and Slave Labor Graphics and other companies. So yeah, it is a good place for networking. But as far as, going and making a lot of money right now, I don't think so. I think there's just too much stuff going on for other media to keep the fans distracted, I guess you could say.
I've never gone to San Diego. I know. It's quite sad. It's a crime, actually.
It really is a tragedy in both of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con is someone needs to the con should be held accountable for that. Really, and because I have not graced that con with my presence yet, I do feel that it tarnishes the con. I am a humble man, but the fact that they have not brought me to the show yet, especially as an invited guest, I mean, I might be open to flying myself down, but if they put me up and gave me a free table, I might be able to swing it. But no, I've watched. In all seriousness, there was a documentary. What was it? Comic-Con, the 4th episode 4, fans. So it was Kevin Smith and I think was it Matt Spurlock? Was it? I think did it. But they showed these guys, and they take these two guys who have dreams of being an artist, and the one guy gets kind of disillusioned with the industry. The other one makes it. He was doing books, and I think that mid 2000s, 08, 09, 2010, it started to not be about the comics. Hopefully, from what I'm hearing, the last 2 years, there's been a renewed interest in comics at the show, at least from an independent comic standpoint.
I can't answer that, but I hope so.
I mean, that will be nice. I mean, but but the question was if I feel like it's important. Was that the question, Troy?
Yeah. And basically, I just wanted to get thoughts on it because, I don't know, there's it seems like there's thing
negative and positive to it. I mean, a lot of retailers have been trouncing it lately because they're not making the big bucks. And again, that's because the people are going to see the actors and they're going to see the video games and they're going to see things that aren't what the retailers have for sale yet. And there's other things going on. There is so much going on in San Diego that not just the con, but everything around San Diego, you could be there for 2.5 weeks and see a third of what all there is to do. So, it's like you're never going to see it all in any given year.
I Let me see here. Randy's saying that Google has shut him out of his accounts, like all of them. So
That's
I'm
insane.
gonna try to work on getting Randy in.
What gods did he anger?
Yeah.
Like, what did you say in your last video, Randy?
Did Google not do the announcement where you guys said you're gonna be nice this time?
Yeah, we said we're gonna be nice. Come on, Google. What
You got me here. I try to keep y'all in line.
Yeah.
I fail miserably every time, but I try.
we're on our nicest behavior. I haven't. Have I cussed yet? Not sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I've said one naughty word.
I know. As far as San Diego goes, see, the problem is I'm waiting for Varian to take me so I can hang out with his wife. It really is about that, but you know.
She, Comic-Con, I mean, we call it that's just Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go, but I mean, from a price standpoint now, from everything that I'm seeing, look, I know Lewis doesn't want to hear this, but
Go ahead.
And maybe, and not just him. You got artists sitting at home, making, 14,000 upwards to 800,000 from one comic. I know, Lewis, you said you were able to go to cons in the past and make $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
I never made big money at San Diego.
Right, but like you were able to go to other shows and make $3,000, $4,000, in like a day, where these guys aren't leaving their houses and they're making $14,000-$15,000 and up. And you start to wonder if a con's really worth it. I mean, other than going out, maybe networking, which can be dangerous now, or meeting fans, which can also be dangerous.
The thing with San Diego at the time was I was there as a guest of other publishers, as a talent scout or as an editor. So I wasn't there to sell my work. I was there to sell everybody else's work, or I was there to help other people get discovered. So it's what you're there for too. I mean, yeah, I can remember the last time I went, people got mad because I wasn't supposed to go. It was a last second thing, and a friend of mine paid for me to go, and he actually took it out of his student loan money. And they're like, why aren't you spending money on this, that, and the other thing? It's like, because it's not my money, it's his. And I'm not spending a single penny more than I have to so that I can give as much of it back to him immediately after the show. That's called, fiscal responsibility. Look into it. But and the main reason I'd gone that year was because people owed me money. So I was actually going to chasing down checks.
So I seen a question from M3SOZ in the chat. He asked me, he says, how many books have you published in the last decade, Varian? Wow. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. 14 books in the last decade. Yeah, 14 books. Not a lot, not a whole lot. But I try. Not, but the 14 is I mean, when you
I
consider
had in the last decade. I had to take a break with my parents' health, but if I ever get back on track.
I used to take pride, and I was like, oh, these are all 4. I published X amount of books, no crowdfunding ever. And then I started getting dirty looks because more of my friends are crowdfunding, and I was like, I should stop saying that.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. There's no shame in saying you've achieved stuff without crowdfunding.
I don't know, but there's no shame in crowdfunding either.
No, there isn't. But what I'm saying is, so many people are building a reputation for just the crowdfunding and not actually delivering books. That it's a hit and miss game there. So if you're doing it without the crowdfunding, that means you're a little more aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I think? I bet you I know what Randy's problem is. he got that new cell phone. He probably had to change stuff over,
Mm-hmm.
and he probably set that new account up, and they're probably
Having a hoodie
shaking their
there.
finger, the mighty finger of Google, all in his face. Yeah, I think that as far as publishing books go, I mean, I kind of like paying for them myself out of my pocket, everything from
Mhm.
start to finish. I get nervous when I handle other people's money for a project that's yet to be completed or that I'm working on, because like I'm still bad. Like to this day, like if you send me to the market to get
Like
something of
that.
yours, I want to go pay for it myself, and I'll get the money when I get to you, because I just don't want to hold your money. I'm weird like that. But
Can I expand out, I guess, on kind of the topic a little bit?
Absolutely. Mhm.
So you've done 14, and I understand, not everybody's, it's a little weird for me because I am here talking about crowdfunding myself tonight, but
That's fine.
I guess I'm going to ask, I guess, from this perspective, and I should probably know this because Varian and I have known each other forever, I think, and now I feel bad not knowing the answer to this myself, but of those 14, how many of those are you outsourcing things like art and editing where you have to, I guess, pay another person?
out of those 14, wow, I'm gonna say, actually, now that I think about it, about 11 of them are drawn by other people, at least drawn. I think I wrote 4 of them. I got another book. 15 will be the book by Ted Davies. Ted Davies is on the he's in the chat right now, but he was on the program last Tuesday. His book Retrieve. That'll be the 15th book, and I'm lucky in that Ted is writing and drawing that book.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, sometimes people come in with a book already and they want it published, so I just sit them down and do it.
Now we have.
Hey, we got Dave Brown who's joined us. Hey Dave, could you cut your speaker down?
Oh, my bad.
That's
Sorry.
okay. We got Dave.
Yeah, mute YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, you can mute YouTube. But just out of Dave is joining us tonight. Yeah, look at the packed audience we got here. Look at that, man. So we've lost Randy and got like a bunch of other people. Randy's gonna be pissed. He'll pop in right now. What I miss? So yeah, I think that especially when you're, and I know Katrina, you're crowdfunding your book. You crowdfunded a couple of books. Trico, you crowdfunded before.
I crowdfunded, well, sort of crowdfunded the movie. It was mostly to pay for the premiere. Comics I've never crowdfunded though.
Hey, you mean your movie, Otis UFO Files, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, UFO, the Otis Files.
Yeah.
Which, for some strange reason, is not streaming on IndieVote TV. I can't figure out why, but that's okay. I'm gonna bootleg and put it up there. I got the DVD. That's all I need to do is rip it. I'm not asking for anyone's permission anymore. I'm just ripping it and putting stuff up there. Sue me later.
You're cutting back and in and out, Varian.
Do you need me to get closer and use my NPR voice?
Not quite that bad, but
I can do ASMR.
Now stop with your porn career, Varian.
I didn't know it was that kind of show.
Oh, I watch AMSR or ASMR, whatever it is, because all the girls who do it are hot. Sorry. Anyway, so Dave, you joined us. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Dave and I usually we had to start doing cons, and we had to make sure we're in the same place because people thought that we were the same person. It's like there's just one black guy per con, and
That's all you get. Sorry.
Yeah, all you get after that is, wait a minute, shut it down. This is a MechaCon. What's going on here?
Introduce yourself to us, Dave.
Dave, you are the creator of the Brown Family, a book based on your life, your family. You got your now 4 children and your wife in the book, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I picked up issues 1, 2, and 3. Read 1 and 2. Have not got around to the third one yet. But I read 1 and 2 in one sitting. Very funny stuff. Very slice of life.
Thank
What
you.
do you think? And I know you got in a couple different stores too. I've seen it around, and usually I'll let you know when I see your book in stores. I usually like take like a stack of X-Men books and put it in front because you know last thing I need is you getting the big head and selling out. You know, I'm a hater. Like seriously, like yeah, I hate
I
seeing
did.
it. Like look. You joined the list of people that I hate to see do good because it makes me feel less than. That list includes Danny J. Quick, you know who's the Ace Blade, Demetrius Moore, who I'm now referring to as Demi Moore,
Oh my god,
and now you.
that's funny.
And now you. So every time you see your books at the store and they've been turned around and flipped, it was me. It was
It
me
was
all
you.
along. But yeah, so tell me, how did you? And then we're gonna bounce to Katrina and ask about how did you come up with the Brown family? What was the catalyst for that idea?
Well, again, my name is Dave Brown, Dave the Supreme. That's my artist name I go by. The reason why I came up with this story for one is because I mean I was working on a lot of local artists, you know, doing different comic books,
Mm-hmm.
and you know I was working on a lot of sci-fi stuff and a lot of superhero stuff, and that's the typical norm out there. And I said I want to do something different. And of course, I want to do some superhero, of course, because that's what was popping pretty much at the time. But I decided to say I think I'm gonna go a little bit different. I want to do some little cartoons. I kind of want to be a little bit free. I don't feel like being on point with with the superhero. You know, the realistic of it. I kind of want to just go straight up cartoon. And I said like, well, why not start where what I know best? My family, pretty much.
Yeah, here they are, here on the cover of the book. Uh, so you got your 3 boys, your wife, yourself, and your newborn daughter. There.
Yes.
Well, I got a chance to meet at Flint Comic
That,
Con. That was really cool. How do
yeah.
they feel about being characters in your book?
The boys love it. The boys love it. Um, my wife, you know, of course, it got to be approved by her before it being printed out to make sure it's not
You're
being
not making things
condemned.
up.
Yeah, I yeah, I would imagine because you're dealing with, you know, yeah, because I could see some people getting mad about, you know, oh, you put me in your book. How dare you? My good friend, she's in my comic, and she got really, really pissed at me. Stop putting me in your books. I said, yeah, sure, I will. She gonna sue me. Um, um,
And I'm kind of funny about that. Also, I'm a little funny about that. You know, I would love to put, you know, more people. I mean, it's like, you know, like their grandparents is obviously in the third book, and you know, to add in more people is kind of like I want to give people permissions before getting out there because but then I'd rather skip that and just go ahead and just make up somebody new than
mhm.
therefore I want to go through that awkward conversation like I want to put you in my book. What's it about?
Yeah,
um,
yeah. You know what? That can backfire too because I've dealt with a lot of writers, and some of which will say, um, and I'm pretty sure Trico, you've dealt with this, and yeah, I mean every Lewis and um, Katrina and Trico, you've been
Randy's here.
letters.
Holy crap, that took long enough.
Yeah.
Hey,
Randy hacked the system.
Yeah.
That up here.
Did you send Google money? Did you pay them?
yeah, they asked for $5,000.
This is, they knew
I had-
exactly how much you made it.
I had to send.
They wanted a taste.
I think so. No, they kept screwing me around on my Flint Comics account for whatever reason. I swapped what I did is I swapped the telephone cord over to my other system because I had to download a big freaking shirt order, 36 pages of shirt orders. This afternoon. I have to get on that first thing tomorrow because I put them off for a week because of the show. And I went and replugged it back in. Now it's giving me a hard time. And in the meantime, I had to replace my phone too. And stupid me, I switched it over to a Google phone. So I think they're like going, "Hey, if you're all Google, you better go all Google." So the only way I could get over to you was to download Chrome.
Randy,
Ah,
never
Yeah.
go full Google.
What?
Never go full Google.
Well, you know how I am. I'm anti-corporate as it is, but holy crap, I had to get another phone because my phone fried right before the show.
yeah.
So that was the best and most inexpensive phone I could get my hands on.
I'm a Samsung man.
Now I guess I'm all Google. I used to be Samsung.
Oh, I was gonna say though,
It's all big freaking megacorps. Hello, everybody. Hi, Trico. Hi. Is that Katrina? That's Katrina, right?
That's Katrina.
Yep.
You know
Ow.
me.
What? I know you. And that's Dave the Supreme.
yeah.
That's my cat who won't keep his tail off the camera.
I wanted to say real quick about putting people in your comics that you know. I've seen it backfire, and it's usually with my friends' books because there'll be characters in there, and there's no way I can say this without coming across as an asshole.
What was the topic?
Well, putting friends in your comics, people that you know, it's a lot easier to do. Like, for instance, a good friend of mine is Romanian, and I have her in my comic. Now her name is Mihaela.
What?
Mihaela. Yeah, and we just call her.
I saw that coming.
Well, she's in my book, and it's like, okay, well, and it kind of fits the character. This character has this exotic name. That's cool, but I've seen it backfire because I got a script right now sitting on my desk over here, and I won't say who did it, but there's a character in there named Taikisha, and I just imagine customers reading that book and coming across Taikisha and not knowing how to pronounce it. Could you imagine it? Could you imagine it? The character. I mean, that's you guys don't. I'm telling you, Dave knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you.
No, I get it. I mean,
Imagine.
I'd be surprised at the people's names they got.
I don't know how to pronounce. Is it taquito? Taquita? Taquita?
You say taquito, I say taquita. Let's call the whole thing off.
I don't know. Someone not knowing how to pronounce your name, I have no idea what that's like at all.
Oh, I'm sure you don't.
Trico.
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 I called him Trico for the first year I knew him. And then one day he's like, I look
Me
at his
too.
Twitter, and it says Trico, not Trico, and I felt really bad. And I was like, oh my god, I been pronouncing this guy's name. I'm an ass. So try. I'm gonna step on you once here, and then Katrina, I promise I'm gonna get to you. I promise. But I have to read this question. We got everybody here. Everyone's here.
Everybody.
Everybody's here. Everybody have fun tonight.
Let's not go into Wang Chung, buddy. I think I can get rid of that note.
Let's see here. All right. So
we're building quite a crew. You know that, right?
Oh yeah. So we got a quote, as we often get questions into the Indie Vote email. Hey, you guys at Indie Vote email, which people send from Indie Vote Radio, which just sold out normally after the show, a day or so after. I take the audio from this show on the road on Indie Vote Radio, which you can download on Android and coming soon to iOS. But we got a question from
at your convenience.
A gentleman named Brett Sanchez, who addressed this question to the three of us, Randy, Lewis, and myself. And I'm going to answer first because I have the shortest answer. He says, where in the hell were you guys when SJWs were taking over and ruining the books? By the books, he means comics. And Scholastic prove it. They're books now.
Yeah.
Thinking about it after the fact seems all the rage nowadays, but you three could have helped prevent it. That's from Brett Sanchez. Brett, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't here. I've never been in a position to fix anything other than as a fan. And I did. I mean, my comic book orders went from $60 a week down to about 12, down to now currently 0. I buy independent books mainly. Occasionally I'll go to Ollie's or Second and Charles and pick up some trades, but I haven't went into the store and bought a book in a very long time. So that being said, I wasn't here. Now these other two guys.
I hold them responsible.
Yeah. Randy was there. Lewis is damn near Marvel. He was there. He could and I want to throw somebody else under the bus for a second too. If not for Trico, starting his former company.
Oh,
we would not have Heather Randall. Thank you very much.
That was great. Like, oh.
Well, we'll let the most experienced of us first address it.
That was a painful oh.
I heard
Obviously, that's Katrina.
What?
No.
I got distracted by the cat. What?
That's okay.
What did I do?
I'm sorry. Lewis said we were going to go to the. Never mind.
No. Now you got to tell me.
Most experienced in comics. I said that has to be you.
Oh, me? Sure.
Randy, what the hell were you doing when SJW?
What the hell was I doing? I can tell you what the hell I was doing. I got fed up back in the Gemmis days, and he just got a big payoff from Murdoch's kid to start his own comic line. But I got fed up back when Bill Gemmis was running Marvel. I banged on the door at a couple of consecutive San Diego cons and did my best to try to get in, and found everybody to be idiots, even back then. So I got out. Diamond was giving me problems when I was self-publishing as Arrow Comics, and I was getting every type of hoop and headache from them people. And they decided that, they told me flat out if I was going to independently publish that they just wanted me to dry up and blow away. So what I did is I spent the last 10 years, after I got fed up with comics, I went out and started my own printwear business. Started printing T-shirts and doing signs and commercial artwork, which I still do to this day.
I'm writing comics about my cousin.
Writing who's your cousin?
I just lost track. Taco House. Do you remember your Taco House comic?
Oh, your cousin's to Benny?
No, his ex-wife.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
Ex-wife, awkward.
Oh yeah. No, I got out of comics. I got fed up, really fed up with it. And but you never really, once you self-publish, if this is what your passion is all about, it never really goes away. So I had the opportunity to start a newspaper back in 2009, and that's what I did. I started a newspaper, comic strip and comics paper, and I stayed working in my own county. And you know what that did? That reinstilled my love for comics. It did. Over the years, I realized that everybody wants to read comics. They want to read all kinds of comics. Everybody from everywhere wants to read comics, especially if it's inexpensive, especially if it's obtainable, I totally blame the advancement in anime straight back to Marvel and DC, because they didn't cater to a whole female audience for 10, 20 years. So that large female audience are now the anime fans and cosplayers, or the kids of anime fans and cosplayers. But anyway, I did that paper for 100 issues and kept that going in the local county. And it reinstilled my love for comics. And I started the Flint Comics Con after that, and was doing annual little party conventions. That was great. And everybody was together and talking comics. And then I heard about you, Varian. You told me about diversity in comics and your boy Zach, and I spent a good 6-7 months sitting there watching a lot of YouTube videos to get to know what the situation was again, and did a lot of research, did a lot of study. So decided that maybe it was time to shut down the newspaper that wasn't making me a whole lot of money, and try to make some money going back into comics.
Now you are.
But I wasn't in a position to change anything.
Now, what you guys don't know is, Randy,
except that I changed it in my own county. I got a huge readership here in the county. We still have a lot of people that come to the conventions, even though the paper's no longer coming out. I agree. Whatever you said, Trico.
I
That was-
sent Randy and Lewis.
Wilhelm scream.
Oh no, that was my. Did you guys just hear my my tire screech?
Was that a tire screech? I thought somebody was in pain.
What you guys don't know is that I sent this question. I didn't want Lewis and Randy to be caught with their pants down yesterday. So since this was a pretty aggressive question, I sent it to them so they can have time. And I understand that Lewis Bright Raven has prepared a statement.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
Nope.
I thought you prepared a statement. You said you prepared a statement.
I did.
What the hell?
I prepared it, and Randy didn't know about it, and you didn't communicate that, and I'm not going to play opposite of that.
You should prepare. You should prepare the statement. You should have read your prepared statement.
No.
Go from the cue cards.
But I will say,
Okay, I have a question. Where were you when the SJWs are taking over, Lewis?
First off, you have to know when exactly the SJWs took over. They took over back when Randy left, which was back in around early 2000s.
So it's Randy's fault.
No.
No, you really have to go back and look. There's going to be arguments and discussions about that through the history books for as far back as you go. But right now, depending upon which company you're looking at, it seems that Axel Alonso is really the big culprit, and he's no longer up there with the company. He's the one that started bringing in a lot of the diversity hires. I think you would plainly call it.
Yeah,
what the media calls it. Yes.
Yeah,
and we're gonna get to those diversity hires because something happened with them.
I butted heads with him back in 2002, 2003. He didn't like me after that.
Axel Alonso, no,
Yeah.
he didn't.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Axel. When Axel was working as an assistant editor under Karen Berger at DC Vertigo, great guy. When he moved over to Vertigo, I don't know if...
You mean when he moved over to Marvel?
Yeah, moved over to Marvel, pardon me. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if it was just who he was around at Marvel or if it's just getting a power base into his head or what. But he became a total jerk.
Yeah, I mean, and so since I got that question out the way, and
that would describe my exposure to him was total jerk.
Yeah, if you want me to tell you where I was in the 90s and early 2000s, Varian, from 92 to 2005, I was helping Slave Labor Graphics pick up some of the best names that came out later.
When did that happen?
Rick Remender, Ed Brubaker.
What's his name? Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Who makes that?
Pardon?
Johan Vasquez. Yeah.
Johan Vasquez. I didn't pick up Johan. That was Dan Vado. But I was one who was recommending Francis Manipool and Ed Brubaker and Rick Remender to Dan.
What was your position with the company?
Consultant, talent scout and consultant.
Why does somebody consult with Marvel and get me one of those pay-to-play deals over there so I can totally half-ass my way to
those don't exist anymore.
God,
no,
damn it.
One, they don't exist, and secondly, Marvel hates my guts.
I want to give them a chance to hate mine too.
I didn't realize until yesterday that DC pulled their medical benefits. I guess it was 4 or 5 years ago.
For the medical benefits?
Yeah. On all their exclusives?
Yeah, you have to be on the staff, not an exclusive creator, but on the editorial or marketing or otherwise.
So I have a question. All right, I'm going to put this question to the panel. Dave, and then we'll go Trico. We'll go Dave, Katrina, then Trico. Where the hell were you when the SJW was taking over? What were you doing?
I was in school.
So you were in school too. Okay, you got the same excuse as me.
I do.
Katrina?
We're talking when? Give me a date range.
2000 and
2000 to 2005.
Well, 2000, 2001, I was having babies. That kept me pretty occupied. And then the other few years, I was raising babies. So I was completely not involved
You were so busy.
Very occupied.
I had two. They're a year and 15 days apart. My oldest is special needs, so there was a lot of being mom, and I wasn't involved at all in the comics industry at that point.
And Trico, other than gifting us Heather Antos, what were you doing?
Other than cursing you a feather.
Oh, don't be mean. We're supposed to be positivity and light today.
Oh yeah. If we're looking at the date range, like early 2000s, then I'm completely absolved of anything.
Absolved.
Did you go to confession for that? How did that work?
I'm a reverend. I can absolve you.
I got some questions from the chat. One, from M3SOZ. Do you publish books, Lewis?
I have in the past.
Oh, wait a minute. That was Lewis. I thought he was asking that to Varian.
He just asked the question. He didn't answer it.
I didn't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
That's the came out of okay. Corporate agenda. How you going to stop that? Jeff Duncan Morris asked, did the SJWs really take over comics, or did different stories just start being more promoted, focused on before?
Oh, that's an awesome question.
Yes. And Jeff is the writer for Paper Champion, which we will be discussing in a future episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Paper Champ. I seen that book. You sent it to me. The wrestling book.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Why have I not seen this book?
Because I just got it today.
Katrina, we don't tell you about cons. You're going to tell you about books, too.
I know.
This is Paper Champion. I haven't even gotten it out of the package yet. It is a flip book with another story.
How does this man get comics before me? What's going on here?
Well, Jeff lives here in Columbia. So do I. And it's out at my local store. That's part of the reason why.
I think y'all forget what my other job is.
Yeah, you're a comic reviewer. Katrina runs, I'm going to say IndieVote. She runs geekorama.net. She does reviews. She does all kinds of cool stuff for comics. As a matter of fact, she was the person that I stole the idea for IndieVote.com from.
It's true.
I'm going to catch in on her franchise. So, yeah. So before we get into Paper Champ, so Dave, you got 3 issues out of the Brown family. Is that the German 3? Is that it? Yeah. You got 3 issues out.
Be careful with those okay signs, Varian.
When can we expect issue 4?
Soon, but I'm still working on other projects, actually, other storylines to take a break from the Brown family to start on something new, to branch out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been asked, my son, my baby is special. The boy ain't gonna make it unless like something happens in the next year or so of his brain. Just the boy, he'll watch a rerun and be surprised again. I can't understand it, but
I think we all have those worries about our kids.
Yeah, then this one, I don't, because he asked me. He was looking at the Brown family because I assumed it was kid friendly because Dave's a family man. And my boy looks at me in the eye while looking at the cover. He says, "Daddy," the boy's 8 now. And he says, "Are they called the Brown family because they're brown?" Yeah. And so I figured you've been asked that at cons before.
Countless times. Even though my name is at the bottom of the book.
You don't know issue. You're working on other projects. Tell us what your next project is.
Urban Tales.
Okay.
Urban Tales is my next book, based off different local hood stories from a kid's perspective, or from a different few kids' perspective, which was based off also my experience.
And Katrina, you got that prose novel. Now, here's the thing. I thought, I prefer comics. I've read some novels, some high art novels. I read some my time. I remember my first thing. Anyway, but you got the Tether Saga. And really quick, because I have to ask this because I'm an idiot. I know that you and Russell, what's his last name? Nolte? No,
Nolte.
Nolte work
Mhm.
together quite a bit.
Yeah.
He has Katrina Hates the Dead and a couple other Katrina books, right?
Yeah, he does. Katrina Hates the Universe. Katrina Hates the Gods. Katrina hates
Now,
pretty
you're
much.
involved in that at all?
Huh?
Are you involved in that at all?
I'm his proofreader.
Okay. But did he
Um,
name the character after you at all, or was that already?
No, it was purely coincidence, and I joked a lot with him that it was really weird to proofread those because my name is constantly in them,
Mhm.
and the character is nothing like me.
But you are the project editor on Teddy Bear Tales, which
I am.
again,
Yeah.
funding for another 3 days on Kickstarter.
Yep.
And
60
tell us
hours.
about that.
We have 60 hours, $630 to go. We are squeaking it down to the wire. Teddy Bear Tales is issue 3. It is a double issue, so 44 pages long. And it is the story of Tristan the teddy bear and his friends Wilma, who is a rabbit, and Archer. Those are the 3 main characters in this particular one. And they're protecting Tristan's boy from the boogeyman and the monsters under the bed. So there's some epic battle type stuff going on. I love this series. It's definitely kid friendly. It's a children's book. It's all ages because I'm a kid and I love reading kids stuff. So if you got adults in your world that are like that too. My favorite thing about the series, though, and I've got one of them with me, is if you pledge, or we have pledged a whole bunch of pledge tiers, everything from digital copies of the first 3 books to they look Varian backed.
Yeah.
All the way up to there's $150 tier, but we have multiple tiers where you can actually get the characters in stuffed animal format. So I've got, this is Archer here. You guys can see it. My cat is trying to steal my pizza box. Sorry, guys. Cat, leave the pizza box. Always something. So this is Archer. These guys are all individually handmade. We have a fantastic woman who does that. They're all jointed. They'll have the child safety eyes and stuff on them. So I love the fact that we can offer that. So if you got a kid who's a little nervous at bedtime, you can get them their very own kind of protector. We call them the cuddly defenders. This, what you see on the screen now, is actually our cover. The artist on this book, including this cover art, is Veronica Smith. She's actually a Michigan girl too, which I think is really cool. The creator and writer is Nick Davis. He's out of Baltimore. Fantastic storyteller, and my job is to, I think he actually probably puts it in here somewhere. My job is to make it actually read like English.
I did see that.
Yeah. He likes
all
to
backers $5 and up get a free bonus digital comic.
Yeah, this is kind of a new thing we added. Well, I guess about almost 2 weeks ago now. And I'm going to mangle his name. Oh, it's terrible. I just call him Kai because I'm so terrified of pronouncing his last name or his full first name. I'm going to say it's Kyron. I'm probably wrong. If you're out there, Kai, I'm so sorry. Kyron, he is actually given us issue 1 of Shaman's Destiny, which is a really fun read for any backers at the $5 or higher level to go with that too. So you can see, we've got some of the art up on the page. So yeah, I'm excited. I love this book. I love this series.
There's all the different stuffed animals you can get there.
Yeah, those are the different ones. You've got the little Tristan all the way up to the big full-size Tristan. I own, let's see, 3 of the 5 of these. I'm a bit of a
whole collection, shouldn't you?
You know what? Nick jokes that that I'm probably the easiest person to buy for my birthday or Christmas, because he just gives me the next toy that I don't have in the line. But the toys especially are so incredibly high quality that I'm amazed when I see them.
That is a very nice touch. I like that. I haven't seen anything like that really for a Kickstarter for a comic before. So that's
it is a little unusual. I haven't seen a whole lot where people have kind of their own toy lines already established. But Dot, who makes them, is absolutely phenomenal. And each one is handmade. I had somebody ask, well, what if you run out? guys, we're not going to run out because each one is handmade after the campaign ends. We'll send her, a list. And she'll, so don't worry. The only way it's going to run out is if we sell out on that particular tier. We don't overwhelm her. So we do have a limited number, per tier. Like I think it's 10 per tier.
Mhm.
So I love them. They're the kind of toy that you can hand down, too. Your kids are going to have these for life, and they can hand them on down to their kids.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's because I was running out of things to say anyway. So.
No. It's got breaking news that Lee Iacocca passed away at 94.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just
that's
everyone knows Lee Iacocca.
He passed away at 94, or he passed away in 94?
No, he passed away at 94.
Or on 94.
Or I 94, yeah.
Or on 94, right? Because you could die
on 94.
Yep, Lee Iacocca's gone. I just see it since my computer felt the need to put that on my screen. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll tell everybody else. Brig, you heard it here first on a comic show.
Breaking news.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, Katrina, you got your teddy bear tales, and you guys are going to fund that. I'm asking all of our viewers to go to that Kickstarter. You can find it. Type in teddy bear tales. It's right there. You guys can't see what I'm saying, but yeah. And she's at $1,620. They have a goal of $2,250. Now, Katrina, how much of a say did you have, or do you have in the Kickstarter? Do you have access to it, or do you?
I do have full access to it. I'm actually listed as a co-creator on the Kickstarter itself, so that I can make all his commas and stuff look pretty before we went live. As far as things like pledge tiers and stuff, a lot of that is Nick's decision. He's kind of our finance guy, He runs Alt World Studios and is a creator on this. But it really is a team effort. We have, fairly regular private talks, like between the three of us. Veronica's always putting out new art, for the book. And when the thing about Nick is, I would say, as far as how much control do I have, he's always willing to listen to my suggestions. Doesn't always take them, but he listens.
Whose decision was it to go to Kickstarter?
That's Nick's decision. Yep. I would say I'm just the hired help, but
we are, as Lewis knows, anti-Kickstarter. Even though I backed your project, man, it hurt me to do so.
We're not anti-Kickstarter. Come on, this is all happiness and light.
Oh, that's right.
We're anti-Kickstarter gatekeeping.
I will say,
here.
As far as Kickstarter goes, I don't have a problem with most projects. I have seen some, somewhere I feel like they're abusing the system, so to speak.
In what way? In what way, Katrina?
Well, I know of at least a couple of creators out there, and I'm not going to throw names out.
That's okay.
But who have, say, multiple Kickstarter accounts?
Yep.
Which is against Kickstarter policy.
Only if you're caught.
Only if you're caught, and that is the case. I know of at least one out there who has multiple projects that have remained not completely fulfilled. It's like he fulfills certain ones, like to those who are in. I've seen where he has fulfilled only to those who matter, and regular fans aren't getting their things.
That's not good.
And then he just launches a new project under a different name. And
I think you should tell us
under a pseudonym or a different project name.
Usually I've seen him do it under his own name, under 2 or 3 different company names.
Okay.
And you have to tell us right now, but maybe after the show, you probably should let Varian
It ain't me.
Heads up who it is.
Well, that's all. Names aren't. It's not Varian, right?
It is.
I was going to say names aren't really that important. Just we all know that happens, and that there's a lot of unfulfilled Kickstarters out there.
And I kind of frown on. I mean, for me, I see some of these bigger comic companies throwing stuff out on Kickstarter now, and And it's not that they need the funding; they're using it as publicity. They're using it as a marketing tool, which I think in some ways hurts the smaller people who are.
How big are the companies that are doing that?
Yeah, which companies are you referring to?
I've seen IDW
name
do
names
it.
because they're companies. So
I've seen IDW do it.
have you seen IDW's financial records?
I'll be honest, I have not.
Okay, they really need the money.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I'm calling you out.
I mean that sincerely and in all honesty. They really need the money. It doesn't seem like it, but you look at their financial records.
Yeah.
You know, it's a regular checkerboard.
Randy told me off air that some of those artists are on the chow line. You're trying to get work.
On the chow line.
I think my biggest thing right now that I'm seeing that is, and it's only because I've been talking to somebody a lot.
It doesn't surprise me that IDW is running Kickstarters for certain projects.
I think one of the important things is if you guys in general, the overall all reaching you guys, if people are going to use crowdfunding, do it right. Take the time to learn about what you're doing. I know one guy right now who is complaining frequently that he has a project up on GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep trying to tell him that that's not what GoFundMe is. He's on the wrong platform.
I don't know.
All depends on how much of a charity his book is.
Well, I can't answer to that one. I haven't seen it. But
neither is anybody else if he keeps offering GoFundMes. But anyway.
I mean, he's very frustrated because he actually was talking to me the other day and was kind of angry at me because we had like $1,500 in backers at that point. And he's been on GoFundMe forever and has had zero.
Well,
all the more reason to do that all important research.
Oh, that's like I said,
you really have to sit down and take a look at what this market is doing right now. And it's volatile. It'll change in a heartbeat.
Well, and I suggested, we put a lot of work into it. But if you guys have seen any of my social media lately, I'm constantly talking about it. I've done live streams. I said, you can't just say, hey, I've got a book. Please fund me.
You're willing to come on this show. So that's important.
Yeah. Well, Varian was my very first ever incomprehensible interview. So,
Yeah, it was.
I hear that, my friend. You're incomprehensible.
This is a live picture of that same child line.
I don't see anybody from IDW on that line. Nobody. And if you see their last corporate picture, kind of close. Kind of close.
We put in a lot of work and a lot of time, and we're not Brian Polito, who can just throw up a Kickstarter and have it fund in 10 minutes. And
but the thing that you have to remember about Brian Polito is that